Alrighty, welcome to my Fox V3 helmet review. I recently got this to replace my Shoei here, and it is because I crashed in this. So I got this V3 to replace my Shoei. I believe I smacked my Shoei pretty hard enough that I shouldn't be using it anymore. I smacked it in the back and then I smacked it in the front, so I can probably use that as a backup, or when one of my buddies come to ride at my farm and they don't have a helmet. So here's my new V3, and believe it or not, I've also smacked this very lightly already. Because, the Shoei is the only thing I can really compare it to. Right off the bat, I can tell you that these run small. So if you're like a medium in a Shoei, you definitely should get a large in a Fox. No question about it. I didn't get to try on this before I bought it, but just reading reviews online, which you always have to take a grain of salt about sizing, because everyone's head's different, but everyone was saying that these run small. So I took the chance and I bought a large instead of a medium, as I'm usually a medium in every other helmet that I've ever worn. And I'm so glad I bought a large, because otherwise it's just impossible to fit my head. So how does it fit? And how does it fit compared to the Shoei? Well, it's more comfortable for sure. It's more tight at the top of the head, but it, like up here, I guess in the forehead type of area, it's tighter, but it requires a little bit of break-in, not nearly as much as the Shoei, but after it broke in, it's way more comfortable than the Shoei. The liner material is more comfortable. I've mentioned in my other Shoei helmet reviews that, the liner they use is it's borderline, like 1200 grit sandpaper. It's not comfortable at all. There's a really reputable brand, and I've crashed them, and I think they've saved my life, so that's why I sort of went to them. I'm always, being a new motocross guy, I sort of see everything from a different viewpoint from someone who's been doing it for a while. So I actually look at all these Fox and Thor and Fly and all these other, there's just so many brands in the motocross world, and they all have helmets. And I know that's BS, because they obviously just outsource them, including Fox. And that always makes me a bit scared, because I always believe in buying a product from a brand that has been specialized in that product since the beginning of their company establishment. So this is sort of like my first time, but at the same time, I'm really impressed with how the Fox is. It's light. I think it's lighter than my Shoei, and I don't know if, at least it feels lighter. And it's more comfortable, so that's a huge thing for a helmet, because especially the more serious guys that are racing, if you're doing 20-minute motors or whatever, you want that comfort. You actually do want that comfort on your head. These are outsourced to I don't know who. Online you read about them being outsourced to KBC, which actually is a pretty big Korean brand, but they're not, because they say made in China on the box. So, and KBC is Korean, unless there are factories in China. I don't really know. The fit and finish is obviously, it's not as good as Shoei. You can see just around here, it just looks cheap. Okay, this plastic, the gapping here, it looks cheap, and just even the material looks cheap. Look at that. That's pretty rough. Having said that, I can buy 3 of these helmets for the price of the Shoei. I got this on clearance, got the Shoei on clearance. This was 250 bucks Canadian, which I think is an absolute bargain for a top-of-the-line helmet and for what I use it for. And the Shoei was 520. Oh, actually, yeah. So it's 520 bucks. So I got 2 of these for the price of the Shoei. And the Shoei was also on clearance for 520. So that's also a really good deal. But I think going forward, if I need to replace my helmets and stuff like that, I'll be looking for Fox like a V3, or maybe I'll give their V4 a try when those things go on clearance next year. And hopefully I won't need to because I've crashed, but maybe I'll just get one because they're clearing out. I think the graphic is pretty cool. This is actually like a sticker. There's like, you can feel a ridge here on the shoeies that is, I'll just turn the camera. That's non-existent. This is totally just super smooth. You can feel the clear coat. There's none of that. So that's where like why stuff costs more. On the other hand, since I have the two helmets here, I might as well sort of just do like a side-by-side. I've done a lot of research on helmets, and obviously all the literature out there has their own type of opinion, but from what I understand, just based on like impact physics and stuff like that, you want as much of a smooth surface as possible and a rounded surface, because that will dissipate the energy. So I'm quite shocked, and I mentioned this in my Shoei review, that Shoei use so many hard ridges and points on their helmet, and that focuses energy. I really think Shoei should not do that. I don't know if this is a style thing or why they're doing that. But they should just round this off and make it like smooth, like sort of like what Fox has done here. I mean, there's a tiny little ridge here, but I don't think it's not nearly as bad as Shoei. I mean, you can see that's where I impacted too. So all that energy sort of got concentrated there, and my headaches are sort of in that area too. I have a concussion from multiple impacts on my head. So I'm actually quite happy about this profile, I guess you can say. You can also see how the Fox helmet goes like, it's actually sort of flatter here, and then it's almost not round. So it goes up, and then it goes straight across, and then it goes down again. Whereas on the Shoei, if it didn't have all these crazy ridges everywhere, then it would be smooth, but it's because they have this design element, then it's not smooth. So if you do have like a side impact, then just hope you don't catch one of these edges, I guess, again, because that focuses the energy. Whereas on the Fox, if you hit the side, it's smooth all along, so it doesn't focus the energy. So it's quite surprising. I'm still sort of shocked that a Shoei, who has been making helmets forever, and I still believe they make great helmets, have decided to go for something like that in a motocross helmet. Perhaps they should just sort of stick to their road race helmets or road helmets instead. But so the Fox, it's light and it's comfortable, more comfortable than the Shoei. How much better does it protect you in the head? That's impossible to tell. In my Shoei review, I mentioned that I hit the back of my head and then I face planted, and now I have a concussion. I did fall and I did tap my head lightly on the Fox. I don't even see where that happened. It was so light. But yeah, that obviously didn't help with the whole concussion thing, but it was very light. I know the Fox helmets have the MPIS technology. Yes, no, the MIPS, so the multi-impact probably something or other. So basically, it's like this technology is like a floating shell inside, so it takes your impact, but the helmet takes the impact, and it's mainly talking about side impacts. And it's supposed to protect the side impact just as good as like a frontal impact or a top-down impact. And the summer's been crazy hot, and this helmet has kept me cool. I think the venting is sufficient. I know the V4 has even more venting. In my opinion, I think they should just chill out on the venting, because what's most important is the protection of your head. And having holes in your helmet, reduces the structural soundness of any type of structure. So stop putting holes in helmets. If you're gonna race or become in the pros and stuff like that, their fitness will deal with the heat. I mean, like an extra vent here or there, I don't think is really going to win them motos or anything like that. I think everyone would rather just benefit from a better head protection, especially from the guys that have gone through concussions. So we know what that's all about, and it really, really sucks. But again, I read online that the V4 is even nicer than the V3. How? I don't really know. Apparently it fits even better, but maybe next year I'll be there to review that as well. Overall, I think I really like the Fox helmet. It doesn't look as nice as the Shoei in my opinion, and I think it comes down to not having all these crazy design elements in it. But bottom line is, I think this helmet will protect you, and it offers good ventilation. It's light enough for me, and it's comfortable. And the price, I mean, the price is really, really good. So you can't really beat that. What else do you want to ask for? If you can get over the whole made in China thing, which I think is a very yesteryear type of thought. I mean, like super high quality stuff comes out of China, as everyone knows. I don't even know I have to even talk about this, but they're obviously very backwards thinking people out there still, and like I think it's great. So yeah, especially for the price point, I think this is a really good buy. If you can grab one on clearance or whatever, go grab one, because for like 250 Canadian or it's probably even less in the States, like you can't go wrong with the V3. So yeah, that's my review. Thanks for watching.